Hey folks, Liam here. This is the first half of our discussion of the Jojo's Bizarre Adventure Part 7 animated adaptation, Steel Ball Run First Stage. Perhaps unsurprisingly, this might be the longest pod we've ever recorded, so we've decided to split the recording in half to be released as 2 episodes with a 1-week break. One other note, at time of recording, we had no knowledge of when any further episodes would be released. As has become a bit of a pattern, the day after we recorded, Netflix released a statement on Twitter announcing that the second stage would be airing weekly, commencing from Northern Hemisphere autumn. So we're looking forward to that. And without further ado, let's get into it. Hey everyone, welcome to Jojo's World.
Oh, we're so back,
We
baby.
are so back.
We are backer than back. We are like...
We are the Get Backers,
I was-
and we've just got back because we're the Beatles.
We are beyond Beatles. We are Beetleborg battle bots.
We're bigger than sliced bread, we're bigger than Jesus, we're bigger than Ringo Starr. We are Jojo's World, the
Premium? JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
Perth-based Jojo's Bizarre Adventure recap and discussion podcast, where today I am thrilled to officially announce for the first time we are talking about Episode 1, Stage 1, the 48-minute spectacular, the only episode on the foreseeable horizon of Steel Ball Run, entitled Jojo's Bizarre Adventure, Part 7, Steel Ball Run, First Stage.
Fuck yeah.
I'm Liam S. Smith, one of your co-hosts.
And I'm Nick Valentine, the other one of the co-hosts.
This episode of Steel Ball Run covers chapters.
This saga, if you will.
The first 11 chapters of the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Steel Ball Run manga, which are chapters 754 through 763 of the overall manga as published in Shonen Jump magazine.
So we're still in Shonen Jump.
That's right. We've alluded to this before, but the first 23 chapters of Steel Ball Run are published as per the previous JoJo's Bizarre Adventure in Shonen Jump magazine weekly, before from chapter 24 pivoting to monthly Ultra Jump, a magazine that services the seinen age bracket, which I did a bit of reading on what that means.
A little bit older?
Like 18 to 30.
Yeah, so what our demographic would have been.
They call it seinen,
Yeah.
even though it's targeted at young adults, essentially, adults,
Uh-huh.
because calling things adult or mature was already a publishing niche monopolized by porn, essentially.
It's a slight faux pas.
I looked up seinen on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
The devil's website. No,
The
that's
devil's
what- No,
website?
sorry, that's what the Range Touch guys call Amazon. And
No, but
Twitter.
Amazon is the devil's
No,
website.
Wikipedia is generally good.
Yeah.
And God, the things they said were colonized in the adult and mature categories was like straight up porn.
Yep.
Like snuff shit and like pedophile shit.
Yeah.
I can see why you wouldn't want to be associated with that for your action adventure story.
Well, I'm pretty sure even hentai doesn't classify itself as adult. It literally calls out, like, perverse or something.
Anyway,
But you don't want to be lumped in with that. You want to be a cool guy. You want to be an 18 to 30-year-old, cool, normal, hip, steel ball flinging guy.
so the jump chapters stick with being around 20 pages each, and then when we transition to Ultra Jump, who
40.
knows how many episodes down the line, they become about 60.
60? Fuck me. Okay. That's like a book.
That's right. And I have in my hands a book, the
What?
first volume of Steel Ball Run, published
Ooh.
in English by Viz Media,
Uh-huh.
which, by happy coincidence, covers those same 11 chapters as this first episode.
How convenient. No spoilers inside. Can I feel it? Can I see it?
You may touch it. And I'll be handing that to you a few times throughout this episode to highlight a couple of choice manga anime differences.
It's so smooth. So sleek.
Nick,
Yeah?
before we get into all the nitty gritty,
Uh-huh. There you go.
what did you think of the concept of Steel Ball Run, Episode 1, Expectations versus Reality.
So, as always happens with JoJo's, I'm both bewildered and delighted on every level because, like, I thought to myself, it's probably going to be Johnny Joestar doing some shenanigans, having a good time, and then he's going to help some guy who can't walk. But little did I know, Johnny's the one who can't walk.
It's almost like you should have picked that up from the trailer we watched that told you that. But
oh no.
Such is the nature of memory.
Such is the nature of short-term memory creation.
The Steel Ball Run, a transcontinental race.
Which seems like an insane idea, but also an amazing idea.
2,000 competitors from all over the world, including the mysterious Gyro Zeppeli, a man in possession of mysterious and alluring steel balls. Draws the notice of disgraced paraplegic jockey Johnny Joestar, who, through chance encounter, comes to believe these steel balls will allow him
to walk
again.
Yeah.
And so resolves to pursue Gyro Zeppeli across the continent in the biggest horse race of all time, the Steel Ball Run.
I think I said multiple times as we were watching this, holy fuck, that's so many people. Like, literally,
and
like...
so many horses.
So many horses.
CGI horses. They look great, it's fine.
There must have been at least...
It's not the Golden Kamuy Bear situation.
No. These are elegant, beautiful horses.
Beautiful,
and as we know,
horses.
When they're in motion, it's beautiful.
There's nothing stronger than the bond between a man and a horse.
What about a man and his wife?
No.
Not even close.
For those of you who joined us, who are rejoining us after taking the off-season off, I know we have some listeners who do that.
Yeah.
Some things that we watched that might influence our further discussion are... we finished off Bubblegum Crisis Tokyo 2040.
Incredible.
We spent a full year watching a space show about meetings and occasional axe murder, Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
We didn't get to see Laser Eyes or Space Pirate Attenborough.
That's right.
Maybe we will one day.
We watched old version Trigun.
The OG, the greatest piece of media ever made. It was just as good as we all remember it being.
It's no JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
I'll kill you, old man.
And the first season of Dan Da Dan, the show where aliens will sexually assault you.
And we hate them.
Yeah, good stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if a few things that we covered in that come up here. You know, I think there's some resonances between Gyro Zeppeli and Vash the Stampede.
On what fucking
their
level?
Visual design, the big... I mean, they're all pulling from the same cowboy tradition.
Yeah, but Vash can't ride... Well, maybe he does ride a horse. He rides a Thomas. There's no horses in Trigun, you crazy fool.
I'm not indulging you. Nick, shut up.
Okay.
It's time, once again.
No.
It's been so long.
No.
To share some words of wisdom.
Yes.
From my friend and yours, the author of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
We're in a group chat with him.
Hirohiko Araki. We are not.
I wish I was in a group chat with him.
Now, I'm taking this author's commentary from the back of the hardcover volume I have here.
Okay.
And I did cross-compare it with the author's notes they put up on the JoJo wiki. And I'll just note that they have combined in this print edition the author's comments that were logged on the JoJo wiki as volumes 1 and volume 2.
Okay.
I don't know what to make of that, but...
So we kind of have two author's
It's a double header to get us started.
Oh.
Although Steel Ball Run was in essence written as part 7 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I wanted to avoid emphasizing that connection for the benefit of new readers. With that being said, when it comes to a manga creator's approach to starting any new story, I firmly believe that attempting to ignore their previous works or completely leave them in the past is wrong. A story's themes must be a continuation of those that came before. Part 2. Just as one season changes into another, or as a person walks from one stage of life to the next, I believe that a story's themes must also be an unbroken extension of those which came before, and that to completely sever that connection would be a mistake. In Steel Ball Run, some characters have names similar to other characters who have previously appeared in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Please think of the characters in Steel Ball Run as their ancestors, or perhaps alternate versions from a parallel universe. However, the theme remains the same, a song in celebration of humanity. Now, how will these characters push onward through the bizarre race that is life?
Now hold the fuck on a second.
Yeah.
1. Similar names? Similar?
They're similar. Johnny is not Jonathan. Diego is not Dio, though he is nicknamed it.
Can you just
Urmd Avdol is not Muhammad Avdol.
it's Avdul, actually, I think you'll find. I corrected you on a thing.
Now, I suspect that I know
No.
what the other thing you want to dwell down on is
Uh-huh.
parallel universes.
Yeah, this is not a multiverse thing.
No.
But the thing is, at the end of part 6, I know that we basically reset everything
That's
like
right.
6 times or something.
And there's nothing to indicate this is that universe.
Okay.
But I was reflecting while I was editing on our discussion last episode, where I was insisting separate continuity, not multiverse.
Yep.
And I stand by not multiverse.
Okay.
But in all the interview reading and in this author's note I did, the consistent term they seemed to use was parallel universe. And the other thing that I want to reflect on is prior to that episode where we discussed it, I was going into it thinking, I want to be chill and normal about this. I don't want to project my own reading on it too much.
Yeah.
But I was so incensed in the moment that you had come away from our previous discussion with the exact opposite of what I wanted you to take away from it, that I had to double down.
What were you incensed about here? Just me being like,
That
parallel
my
universe.
insistence that it was a separate continuity, not a separate universe in a multiverse sense.
yeah, okay. So now you're of the stronger opinion.
No, well, in the last episode, I had to double down just because I was so insulted that you weren't listening to me at all.
But I'm still not listening to you. So you were saying something about... So you basically are saying they're not parallel universes. They're not like...
Well, the term they use is parallel universe.
Sorry, you're not saying they're part of the same shared kind
Like
of
I said
thing
last
from
time,
part 6.
Unless the Jojo Lance has pulled some massive swerve since I fell behind.
Yeah.
The only time there's a crossover element between these parallel universes, to use their term, is
That one
crossover
detective-
video games.
Right, okay.
So in
With Dio and
the term
Dio
that I
coming
would
together.
use if I were coining it, if I wasn't yoked to the terminology of Hirohiko Araki and collaborators, would be reboot.
Right, okay.
Like how Batman Beyond is Batman, and as is Batman the animated series.
Yeah, and you can
But
kind of go, I see it, but it's not the same.
Yeah. Or Marvel Ultimate versus Vanilla Marvel before they did their big multiverse mashup.
Yeah, it's like Spider-Man and the rest of the MCU.
It's like
are
OG.
technically
It's like OG Spider-Man
Yeah.
in one column, and then Miles Morales universe in the other column. Before they started doing all the
crazy crossovers, yeah.
and the Crisis on Infinite Earths or whatever. That might have been DC. I don't give a shit.
So kind of like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man, the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man,
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
Tom
yeah.
Holland Spider-Man before that one where all three
Exactly,
of them,
exactly.
where we all
And I know
like-
the examples that we're all picking all eventually crossed over, which isn't great for our point.
It's
but I
like-
think it's still illustrative.
Would you say it's kind of like, I don't know, say 1990s Trigun?
Yes!
And
Trigun Stargaze.
In the sense that we watched this part 7, big air quotes of part 7, wink, looks like a 1, doesn't it?
Well, okay, sure. What's interesting, Nick, and I was going to touch on this in a moment,
Yeah.
is that the first few chapters of Steel Ball Run, and this might be apocryphal, but it's my recollection, the first few chapters of Steel Ball Run weren't published without the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure heading. It was just Chapter 1, Steel Ball Run.
Oh.
And now, obviously, they immediately introduce, Gyro Zeppeli,
Yeah.
and shortly after that, Johnny Joestar. So the signs are there.
The branding was not JoJo's. The branding was just, we're going to try a thing.
Yeah.
And it's going to look exactly
And
the same.
you can
use
make
the
some
same
arguments
names.
about that being an attempt to, make it accessible to new readers
Yeah.
and stuff, without them assuming there's a big legacy of 6 previous stories here.
Kind of like a new... You know how in Shonen Jump they have the new up-and-coming author section where there's a few different authors
I've
that
never
come
actually
in?
read the Shonen Jump magazine, so I'll take your word for
Well,
it.
you're dead to me then. But that's neither here nor there. They typically have a section that is, hey, here's some new manga, which is how One Piece, Bleach, I don't think Dragon Ball Z, I have no idea how that came up. But all the kind of big heavy hitters kind of got their start, right? They were in Shonen Jump as hey, there's a new author, he's just come out with this new piece of work, give it a read, we're Shonen Jump. And it was published.
Well, they published them all together.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's the first few sections of the new authors and then the old stories are in the back, or maybe it's the other way around, I'm not sure. But it's kind of they would have gone, hey, it's not JoJo's, it's just this thing.
And yet, even from the first chapter, there are indicators to those who know what to look for that this is. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah.
Something
Insane pedestrian
so
behavior.
you were remarking to me before we started recording that, I didn't see any stands in that episode.
I'm used to now seeing, my stand is fucking Earth, Wind, and Fire, right? Like fucking some guy says it out loud and it's like, this is my power, or something like that.
Earth, Wind, and Fire was, of course, Mikitaka's stand that allowed him to transform into different things. In JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4, Diamond is unbreakable.
But like, none of that here. None of that here, right?
But what's interesting,
Yeah.
an interesting omission by the animated adaptation, is that there are 2 stands that appear in these chapters.
What?
And we'll get into the proper recap shortly, but it opens with the Native American man, Sandman, being chased by members of his tribe for reading the white man's books.
Yeah.
In the anime we watch, he falls down a hole to escape them. The chase scene is a bit more protracted in the manga, and he escapes by climbing up a cliff they can't pursue on their horses. And just look at this this panel I'm going to hand you about the way he climbs the cliff.
Okay, a big, beautiful manga page. He threw himself under my horse. What's he doing? What the fuck is that guy?
And undeniably, the weird, like, biomechanical shape of a stand arm emerges from Sandman's arm to help him climb up that cliff.
Yeah. It's weirdly fluid as well. Like, it's obviously magic, right?
Yeah.
It's climby magic stuff.
And, you know, if you were... It's a single panel. It's not... That particular moment is not explored in any greater detail. But, you know, if you are a long-time JoJo's reader, you'll see that and be like, I know what that is.
As soon as you see the zoom katakana, you know what's up.
And just for the record, in the moment, the other standard thing that comes up is the character we'll be spending a lot of time talking about, Poco Loco.
Not Gyro Zappelli.
With his amazing luck.
Yeah.
Actually manifests his stand, hey ya, which whispers to him things like, Poco Loco, use the cow carcass.
Oh, is that, you know how when we were, to skip, you know, way far ahead, you know when he has the cow carcass, right before that he hears like a voice?
Yeah.
Is that alluding to that?
That's right.
Right, I see.
For whatever reason, in this first episode, they've deliberately downplayed all the stand elements.
Maybe it's the same tactic as like, you don't have to see the first 7 parts. We're going to break you in with just some insane bullshit. Well, it's not JoJo's.
As I've alluded to previously, they definitely start a lot more subtler in the things the stands do compared to, you know, the part 6 tier bullshit.
Yeah.
So I'm imagining it's part of the gradual process of ramping that up.
Yeah, it's part of the gradual JoJo's Bizarre Adventure brainwashing scheme. Step 1, do some insane bullshit. Part 2, explain it with stands. Part 3, now do more insane bullshit with the stands.
So, I've got a couple of other things before we get into it proper too. I made use of the really impressive resources on the JoJo wiki.
Not the fandom
That's
one.
right.
Yes.
JoJowiki.com. Where they catalogue basically every interview that Hirohiko Araki or someone associated with the production of the manga or the anime does.
Yeah.
They're not all translated, but they're all up there.
Okay.
So I looked through quite a few of those, and I've got a few things that I'll pepper throughout.
Okay.
There's probably more than I can go through in any reasonable amount of time, but there's some really good stuff up there. Recommend reading if anyone wants. I've got some commentary here from Tomoyuki Shima, one of Araki's editors, who provided this comment for the Jojo Vele book in the history section. We've talked about Jojo Vele in the past.
God, have we?
Series of comments from various editors Araki's worked with over the years. And Tomoyuki Shima had this to say. Part 7 takes place in a parallel world from the rest of Jojo up to that point. What were Araki Sensei's thoughts on this? This is the prompt to
the interviewer, if you will.
From his point of view, it's all right if it's not connected to Part 6, right? On the topic of Part 6, he also said, that's just one of the many stone oceans. By the end of Part 6, he had told me about his plans for Part 7, but only in vague terms like, the next part is about the steel ball. So at first, I had no idea what he was talking about. My man is pulling some Bioshock Infinite, there's always a lighthouse shit, and then pivoting straight to, I'm interested in the steel ball for next time.
I just love that his editor, the man who literally secures him his paycheck by saying, you need to get this done this week, and he looks at him and goes, the next part is about a steel ball. Like, would you respond with, "That's very good of you, Araki."
Imagining
Yeah,
the
okay.
theoretical conversation where he's like, "Great, so part 6 is wrapping up. What's your idea for the next time?" Araki, immediately put on the spot, looks to his left and sees one of those executive desk toys. It's about steel balls.
Right, what kind of steel balls? See ya.
Looks to his right and sees like a painting of a horse on the wall. Horse race. Steel ball horse race.
Okay. How long until it's done?
Years.
Yeah, looks at a reminder of call your mum. Years away. Who even knows?
There was an untranslated interview with a staff member from Ultra Jump's editorial department that I really want to see translated. Put the word out there, JoJo's World Nation. Reports from an Ultra Jump editor about times Hirohiko Araki allegedly witnessed paranormal creatures.
How long is that article?
It seemed pretty long.
And this is by his own account, where he would just say,
Well, told through a third party, but
yeah, but they'd be like, he said this, and then, quote, "I once saw the Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah.
It wasn't in wherever it was.
I
in
encountered
Dover or
the
whatever.
Bigfoot.
I saw the Bigfoot roaming the halls of my library once. I think maybe he can be quite well read. Reading is a strange art form when you think about it." End of author's note. Can you not hit I'm desperate. Can you not hit like Google Translate or something on that shit?
Hey, maybe you can, my man.
I'll do whatever the hell I want.
So, another interview excerpt. We're going to be doing a bit of this. This is from an interview with Osaka University.
Osaka University? What? Why is Araki doing interviews with a university?
University of Arts.
That makes
I think he's
sense.
spoken there before. We've definitely talked about a previous university talk he's done.
But he's a self-admitted criminal.
What are you talking about?
He's ding-dong dashed.
Oh, of course.
He's a menace.
They talk about quite a few things, but there is a section on Steel Ball Run, then his latest story.
Okay.
So there's the interviewer Shibasaki and Araki. Shibasaki says, "Your latest work, Steel Ball Run, only ups the ante with its visuals, with something that I can't talk about at the moment as an example.
Okay.
The stands and details had gotten really complicated by part 6, so the theme behind Steel Ball Run was returning to simpler things and depicting the basis for people's feelings, or something like that. That's why I think it has that kind of feeling. Back to simpler, muscular times," the interviewer says. "You've also placed a lot of emphasis on the so-called steel balls." And then
The so-called steel ball.
Araki says, "The spin of the steel balls is going to lead to all kinds of things from here on. I felt that I could use the steel balls to bring out a feeling of growth, even in a physical sense." And then they talk about inspirations like the image of Clint Eastwood riding into Horizon on horseback as like striking imagery that's
classic ingrained into the memories of the
classic
Westerns.
Araki shit.
Yep.
Steel Ball Runs set in the desert on horseback like in a Western movie.
I think that the Wild West is a beautiful place. I once saw Bigfoot there.
That's right. I saw the Jersey Devil, so I had the race end in New York because maybe the Jersey Devil will show up.
I made a bet with a yokai that I could see him in the Wild West, so I did. Hi, I'm Hirohiko Araki.
That's right.
His wife shows up and says, "That was just some guy." I wonder what Hirohiko Araki's wife is doing now.
Why?
She seemed incredibly normal, and Araki does not seem normal.
So a couple of quick fire questions from an interview discussing Steel Ball Run in the special edition of our Aomaru Jump released in 2004. Are stands going to appear? Maybe something like them might appear, who knows? But I'd have the idea behind that kind of prominent ability re-explained from the beginning, and I'd give it a new perspective, so that it wouldn't feel like the same thing again. It seems as though some fans look at Gyro's steel balls and say, "Isn't that the ripple?" They are pretty similar. The idea behind that will be explained in the work, though there may be some pseudoscience involved. Gyro's smile was shocking, with those gold teeth of his.
We are going to get an explanation. Okay.
Nick had been audibly reacting every time Gyro did his trademark smile with his trademark grills this episode, so I wanted to make time for this.
Yeah, I had theories on why he has them as well.
I wanted to bring out an outlaw kind of charm, so that you can tell at a glance, this guy isn't normal. 10 years or so ago, piercings and tattoos played that role. But piercings have become standard nowadays, right? That's why I made his teeth gold. In fact, the fashion of Gyro's teeth might be deeply related to his past. I thought it would also cause readers to wonder what kind of past he has, and thereby make the mystery deeper.
Yeah, I'm wondering what the fuck's going on with him. So that's pretty deep mystery already.
And as for Johnny Joestar, his background is that he's a former genius jockey, so the horse emblem is his symbol. He's a member of the Joestar family, so maybe he has a star mark on his neck. The name Johnny is also derived from Jonathan. The bloodline isn't a theme though, so don't go misunderstanding. It's just a nod to him being the forefather of a Jojo character. There's no deeper meaning to it.
Just a little wink and a nudge, and that's about it.
And finally, what about Poco Loco?
What about Poco Loco?
I plan to have him be a formidable foe, but I don't think readers will see him as a hated villain. It's not a battle between good and evil, and manga that depict races have that kind of enemy in them all the time. I think he'll be a character with a lot of depth. Don't hold out for that.
Oh, okay, alright. I mean, even from this episode alone, something tells me Poco Loco is going to be around, but he's not gonna, he's not gonna do much.
There's a certain subplot running through Steel Ball Run, which is kind of Poco Loco's excellent adventure.
He's just here for the ride.
There's so much more we could go into. We could talk about the director of the anime's references to Red Dead Redemption 2, or
Wait, what?
Some of the choices he made between what to cut and what to keep. But I think we've got a lot of JoJo to get through, so why don't we dive on in?
Yeah, okay, alright.
So, the brief recap.
Oh, do you want 1 minute or 2 minutes, given that this is... Okay, you're that
I
confident?
did it for 2 episodes last time.
Well, in that case, I'm only going to use a stopwatch and then yell balls when your time is up.
Okay.
Okay, you ready? Go.
The Steel Ball Run race, a transcontinental race across the North American continent with a grand prize of $50 million.
Big.
A mysterious man, Gyro Zeppeli, wielding even more mysterious steel balls, rolls into town and registers for the race, killing one man in the process.
Huge.
As part of that confrontation, he has a chance encounter with Johnny Joestar, paraplegic former jockey who makes incidental contact with the steel balls and notices his legs move. He becomes obsessed with pursuing Gyro into the race and solving the mystery of the steel balls. The remainder of the episode is the first stage of the race, in which Gyro repeatedly cheats using his steel balls. Diego Brando and Johnny Joestar demonstrate high-tier conventional jockeying, and we are introduced to other key races, including Poco Loco, the incredibly lucky black freeman, and Sandman, the Native American sprinter crossing the continent on foot.
Balls!
Gyro wins the first stage.
Damn.
That is to say, he crosses the finish line first.
Incredible stuff. Now, let's talk about that for the next 2 hours.
So, where to begin?
This is
daunting.
I remember last time you were like, Nick, I watched the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I know Dan and Dan's good, but when I watched this app, I got a taste for the JoJo's bullshit again. And today I was like, man, I'm ready for some JoJo's bullshit. No. This is some JoJo's bullshit.
Perhaps a
insane.
good way to start the in-depth recap would be with this setting the stage page from the volume 1 of the manga.
Okay.
There's a rough equivalent that opens the first scene of the anime, but they are different.
Yeah.
Setting the stage. Just 4 years after Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone in 1876, it had been installed in nearly 50,000 American homes.
That's quite a few.
The steam locomotives of the North American Transcontinental Railroad had achieved a top speed of 75 miles per hour and an average speed of 55 miles per hour.
That's pretty fast, I guess.
Sporting events had begun to capture public excitement. Professional baseball's National League was created in 1876, and the Chicago White Stockings became the first champions.
I'm more of a soccer fan myself.
In 1891, Domino won the Kentucky Derby. The famous undefeated horse was later nicknamed the Black Whirlwind.
Ooh.
In 1896, the first modern Olympic Games were held in Athens, though the event was strictly stipulated as an amateur competition. The winner in each sport was awarded a monetary prize.
Maybe they shouldn't pay them.
Chapter 1, Steel Ball Run, the press conference.
The press conference.
And the anime opens with a similar thing being like the American colonizers spread west across the continent,
and we get
driving out the native people and bringing with them the steam locomotive.
Yeah, we get a lot of train shots in the first bit.
And, it's setting the stage for being like the American colonization frontier project is in its dying days. You know, Red Dead Redemption, dying days of the West stuff.
Yeah. The Wild West is going
Stephen
away.
Steele, the man who launches the Steel Ball Run, wants to pay tribute to that pioneer spirit or keep it going. So he's organizing an
Making a
extremely
big race.
impractical race.
Yeah.
Starting in San Diego on the beach and ending at Trinity Church in New York, consisting of, I don't know, I think
10
11
stops?
stages, I think.
Yeah.
Notably, both the first stage and the final stage both finish in churches. I think there's a nice little bit of resonance there.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. How very American.
Sure.
So we're in a period of time where, you know, we've had huge boom of colonization. We're now at a time where industry is sort of like making waves, but we're not seeing much progress for, you know,
Well, there's no
new
further
land
west to
and-
go.
Yeah, they've only got east to go back to, and they're going to have to confront their roots.
Well, that's why I think it's really significant that it opens with, you know, the Native American character Sandman. And, you know, there's obviously some choices being made about how his tribe and their attempted scalping of him is being depicted. But, like, you know, it's telling us, and the manga actually goes into that scene in a bit more detail. The tribe are feeling threatened by the encroaching white man. They feel Sandman has insulted their ancestors by reading the white man's books.
Yep.
But he explains to his sister, who is not depicted here, and maybe we'll get some more of this later, but I think it's worth talking about in case we don't.
Sure.
We're in unexplored territory, not unlike the folks who organised the Steel Ball Run, in that there are no, for the first time in JoJo's world, there are no further episodes for me to have watched ahead on and see that they are going to explore something in a different order.
We're both learning
But
here.
Sandman, using his stand in the manga, escapes up a hill. His sister is there. She beats him up for insulting the tribe.
Classic.
And he says, I was over there the other day, and I saw a white man training. Look at all these perfectly spherical holes he left in the cliff face.
Ooh.
Obviously foreshadowing our man Gyro.
Yeah.
And it looks really cool. Like, there's all these round indentations in the cliff face, you know. Between that and what the other first use we see of the steel balls, it really feels like there's some Junji Ito shit going on.
Yeah, I was going to say, as soon as I saw things spiraling, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, we got some Junji Ito shit.
And basically, he's saying, you know, the white man are colonizing us. They only worship money.
Yep.
I'm going to enter the Steel Ball Run, win the prize, and buy our land to keep it secure.
So he basically wants to reclaim what is rightfully his.
Yeah, using the tools of the white man against him.
Yeah.
They also talk in much more detail in the manga about the, quote, white man's running style that he uses.
Yeah, I did find it a bit weird when they were like, who runs like that? It's the white man's. And then it never came up.
They talk in that scene in the manga about how it, you know, they're describing sprinting. It's the way the white man runs, but they can only do it over short distances.
Yeah, the Rohan Kashibe, the run, sprinting method.
But then in the final stages of the race in the manga, they also do like classic Speedwagon describes the action about the physics of the way he sprints. So I've got some pages here. Stephen Steele is watching Sandman climb over the cliff shortcut that he takes.
Yeah.
And he says, there's like Barky-esque X-ray shots of his muscles and bones.
Yeah.
You need me to explain how he can produce speeds in excess of 25 miles per hour when he runs? Very well. When people run, an impact occurs when their feet hit the ground. The energy from that impact causes strain on their joints and muscles, which then become fatigued. No matter how strong and tough a runner's legs may be, that strain is a physiological inevitability. But when Sandman runs, his heel only touches the ground for a brief moment. That's the key to his method. His heel may touch the ground, but he never puts his full weight on it. The impact from the ground is directed into his toes.
What?
And at that exact moment, he reuses the force to propel himself forward.
What?
He's redirecting the force of the impact forward rather than to his ankles.
What?
Consequently, his legs are almost entirely spared from injury and fatigue. Not only that, but he repurposes that energy to gain even more speed.
He's using his toes?
He's kicking the ground with his toes to go real fast and not take ground damage.
Interesting. The fuck?
It's crazy.
That's insane. I love it. Oh my god. Okay. So he's running.
So Sandman's on a whole nother level.
Yeah, he is literally like, he's like, if ostriches put their head in the sand, I put my feet in the sand to run real fast.
So I hope we get some more on that later in the anime, because it's fascinating stuff.
Fucking insane.
But as you probably assumed from the final stretch of the first leg, Sandman kind of is one of our key recurring competitors.
Yeah, I get the vibe that there's only really a few people we need to care about, and they're the ones that are insane.
There's a couple of others that we haven't really dwelled down on detail yet, but those 5 who were the ones crossing the finish line, they're going to stick around for a while.
Yeah, okay.
You know, it's a lot of JoJo parts. I'm thinking 2, 3, 5, the latter half of 6. They're all they're road stories, right? Getting from A to B and having
The
crazy
time of your
battles
life.
along the way.
Yeah.
Obviously, Steel Ball Run is doing that, and it's using the race as the structure to tell those action stories.
Yeah. It's doing what every other JoJo part does, which is get somewhere, but it's doing so under a much nicer condition.
So there's two main things at play that's going to give us like a different sort of anime battle than we've maybe seen before. One being the race and they're not necessarily always actively racing while they're having stand battles or anime battles.
Yeah.
But the race is always there, the time pressure to keep moving. And the horses are sometimes involved too. And the other is the sort of cowboy influence. Like we're doing a lot more
You're in the town.
shootout style things than fist fights this time.
Like the duel that happened.
The duel.
Yeah.
The steel balls are obviously like a high concept anime equivalent to the quick draw pistol shot.
Yep.
Johnny will get something similar down the line. A ranged attack.
Or will he just walk again?
Who's to say?
I doubt it, but I do get the feeling that, like, at some point down the line, we're going to have the inevitable Johnny, you'll never walk again. And he'll be like, but your balls made me walk. And he'll be like, that's not how that works, man. And then we'll have a whole thing of like, just accept never walking again. It's like, no, I will never accept it. And
I'll never accept it.
And then later he'll be like, I finally accepted who I am and who I need to be for the rest of my days. I'll never walk again. But I've got this insane stand power.
And I've got this boyfriend, Gyro.
Oh boy. Yeah, it does feel very... It's insane though, because like, we do have more cowboy stuff and we have horses and racing. But also we still have the insane JoJo's bullshit at the same time.
Oh, absolutely. That's never going away.
Like even the pedestrians are still insane. The things of like...
The nurses in the hospital.
The nurses are insane. Everyone sucks other than a few choice people. But like, it feels almost more normal than any other part so far, including part 4 somehow, which I'm sure it's not going to stay that way for long. But
what about the first episode of part 1?
Well, the first episode of part 1 was crazy.
Give him the what for? Oh, the trouble I'd get into if I were as brave as Dio.
Yeah, actually, you know what? That was pretty normal for the time.
From the Sandman scene, we transition to the San Diego beach, where Steven Steele is giving his Steel Ball Run press conference.
He has a big spiel about how big it is.
Should we talk about what this guy looks like?
His hair reminds me of someone from part 6.
It could be a hat. It's unclear.
Yeah, I get the feeling that
it looks like, in a cartoon, when a chick hatches from an egg and like they're still in the egg, but they've got the top of the eggshell as like a little hat.
And they just pop out from
yeah. That's what his hair or hat looks like.
Because it's not attached to his head, it's just popping out a bit.
And it's like a sort of top of a dome with a jagged edge.
Yeah, it looks like who was the blob person from part 6? The one who took over the dead body of one of the inmates who had similar jagged hair.
Oh, Sports Max? Sorry, FF.
Yes, FF. Yes, it looks like FF's body person, whoever it was. Atro, yes. So it looks like Atro's.
I'm re-unlocking the knowledge. It's all coming back.
It looks like Atro's hair, but the sides are no longer attached to the side of their head. They're just sort of popping out, and it's more like a hat almost.
Maybe
it's their hair.
Maybe this is what the high fashion. What's the word?
Aficionados.
Fake hair.
Toupee.
Yeah, high fashion toupees of the JoJo world look like.
From the Wild West.
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, that's the element of the fashion in the Wild West you would have draw the line at, not the like lycra bodysuit he's wearing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like why would you wear?
He's wearing this green bodysuit with like a darker green collar in the shape of like a clown's ruff
And also a slightly darker green hole
on his belly.
on his belly.
Yeah. And he's standing in front of a big map of the United States, which has the stages of the race. We don't need to go through all of those in detail.
No, they'll come up naturally as we get more episodes of the anime released. But
So maybe someday.
one day,
We'll touch on that towards the end.
coming 2026.
So he's giving this press conference, and he runs through a few key details of the race.
It's going to start here on the West Coast.
Yeah.
In San Diego, there's going to be a lot of people.
And he talks about his vision and the pioneering spirit and all that stuff we touched on. But there's a couple of minor differences between the anime and manga I just want to highlight.
Oh, okay, all right. Must be huge.
One is that in the anime, he kind of segues from talking about his vision seamlessly into the fact that we can't violate the Second Amendment rights of the contestants, and going out into the wilderness, they need to be able to protect themselves and bear their arms.
Of course.
An interesting difference in the anime, the manga, that really caught my eye on the reread is he's asked quite a few questions in this press conference. And most of them, he just goes straight into his answer, real confident. In this, he's asked about whether participants are allowed to have firearms in the manga.
Yeah.
The journalist says, this race is a sporting competition. Are participants allowed to have firearms? And unlike every other question, he takes a second and goes, in the manga.
Where? Oh, yeah, I see.
Before then declaring that we can't overwrite the right to bear arms. So he's just making this shit up on the spot in the manga. Like, yeah, you can have guns, sure.
It's America, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
fucking, come on.
The other thing that they mention in the manga is the sponsors of the race.
True. We didn't get much from the people on the train, did we? We just saw them.
They were listed in one of those commercial break transition screens on the anime, but
little ad break bit.
They're verbally mentioned in the press conference in the manga. I'm just looking for the exact page.
Because if I remember right, he basically says, oh, people are buying tickets to watch the race, and people are sponsoring the race so it can happen.
Financial backers of the Steel Ball Run.
Yeah.
The East and West Tribune. Presumably East and West Bank as well, because that is where the
money
is deposited to the winner in an account in their name at East and West Bank.
Okay.
Their current host, the San Diego Beach Hotel, the B&C Meatpacking Company, the Winchester Repeating Arms Company,
Because you need the right to bear arms.
the Horizontal Transcontinental Railroad Company,
Because you need the right to lay down that rail.
and of course, the Speedwagon Oil Company.
Now, hang on a bloody minute. It's just founded. It's just
right.
bloody founded.
That's right.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay.
And then there's one more question that occurs right at the end of the press conference that I'm so excited / apprehensive to share with you.
Okay. Is it about what happens when they need to shit or something
No,
insane like that?
It is, though that is addressed in the manga in the scene where Gyro packs his teddy bear. We'll get to that in a sec.
Yeah.
Bottom left panel. Read that out, please.
One last question, says a reporter. The lady behind you, is she your wife? Is it true she's only... Oh, boy. Oh, fuck. Is it true she's only 14 years old? That's irrelevant. It has nothing to do with the race. This press conference is over.
Yeah, so Stephen Steele and his 14-year-old wife, Lucy Steele.
Oh, my God. Okay.
So I understand why they omitted that.
Yep. But to be fair, in Japan, the laws...
So, no, it's not one of those things.
It's not one of those things?
Obviously, this thing is published gradually over the course of many weeks and months.
Yeah.
And finer details can evolve over the course of that. But I will say, we later get Lucy's backstory.
Oh, okay.
And,
There's some other
unclear whether
stuff.
that was massaged over time, but it very much becomes apparent that they've got like a... adoptive father-daughter relationship. And he's married her to save her from a lifetime of abuse.
This is
sort of thing.
This is like the classic, hey, I need a green card to stay in the country, my family, I need to get away from them in fucking, North Korea or something.
I thought it was worth sharing that because that's a crazy thing to put in the first chapter of your manga.
Yeah.
But also, I wanted to flag that this isn't,
This isn't your daddy's manga.
Pedophile billionaire Stephen Steele.
Look, we've got a whole new Stephen Steele up our sleeves.
That's right.
Holy fuck, okay.
Crazy.
So other than that, perfectly normal press conference.
That's right. And then we
Asking normal
hard
questions.
cut from the end of the press conference to Stephen crying in Lucy's lap, being like, I'm so stressed about this race.
What happens if it doesn't go off without a hitch?
And she calms him.
It's like, don't worry, it's going to be all right. You're a great... What did she call
Interestingly,
him?
those two scenes occur in opposite order in the
Oh, interesting.
She calls him. She said, "You've been an event promoter for 40 years."
Promoter. That's
And because you mentioned Bigfoot earlier, there's a bonus chapter at the end of the manga
What?
which talks about Stephen Steele's origins and some of his previous schemes.
As a promoter.
That's right.
Come see Bigfoot. He's real, I tells ya. He lives in my dad's basement.
Stephen Steele caught typhoid fever from contaminated rations, and was discharged from the cavalry. He can put a goldfish into his mouth and produce them from his nose. He takes a part-time job in the circus where he dresses up as an Asian man. The audiences love his goldfish trick.
What year was this written in again?
Like 2005, 2007.
Okay. All right. These are some insane jobs to have in the Wild West.
That took place in 1858 at
Yeah.
age 18. 1 year later, he becomes the star of the circus. One year later, he tours the country with the circus.
Uh-huh.
In 1861, he developed several new attractions: Little Women Wrestling, a man who can pop his eyes out, and tightrope walking pigs. The circus is more popular than ever.
God damn.
Stephen begins to circumvent the circus director and bosses his colleagues around like a dictator. A huge argument breaks out and he's fired from the circus.
Oh my god, what? But that was his one thing.
In 1865, he becomes a heavyweight boxer. In 1866, he becomes a debt collector.
What the fuck? Okay.
In 1867, he's told to fix a fight, but he ignores the order and defeats his opponent. He is shot in his right knee by a gang hitman.
Ooh, okay.
A year after that, he goes missing. According to one theory, he becomes a sailor and flees overseas. In 1881, he re-emerges in San Francisco and declares that he is going to Costa Rica in search of dinosaurs. The article doubles the paper's sales. In 1883, he re-emerges himself as a promoter with events like the hunt for the Yeti in the Rocky Mountains,
Incredible.
the search for the three-legged cavefish, the 65-foot-tall penguin expedition, and the true story of newlyweds living in a haunted house.
Just like that Yashibe Rohan thing.
He builds a mansion in San Jose, employs 8 servants, takes up art collecting, including a Monet, and is rejected to study at university.
So at this point, he's fucking rich.
Then one day, another man shaved a monkey, claimed it was an alien, and tried to sell the story to the papers. Stephen had no connection to that man, but he was painted as a fraud as a result of it. Then he encounters Lucy, gets the idea for the Steel Ball Run, blah, blah, blah. But he's just a rich kook.
Yeah, he's just a guy who's like,
He's just a rich kook who is not a pedophile.
We cannot stress this enough. So he's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, all right, cool. Holy fuck. He went in search of dinosaurs?
And Bigfoot.
And Bigfoot.
And a 65-foot penguin.
But not a small shaved monkey alien.
That's right.
That'd be too far. But also he dressed up
And
as
he is somehow now the most important man in the world.
Yeah, well, everyone loves to see him.
Everyone loves the Steel Ball Run, the race that the winner of which will become an international hero.
So just so I'm clear on the rules that came out of this press conference
Yes.
/ him crying to Lucy.
Yeah.
Is they're having a big horse race
Yep.
in the theme of patriotism and America and, you know, the good pioneers of the day.
Yeah. You're
And
allowed a gun.
And they're going to win $50 million.
That's right. And there's
in Wild West money.
No, there's some author's notes on this.
Okay.
Basically, Hirohiko Araki was like, when I was talking about money and such in Steel Ball Run, I adjusted it for inflation.
Okay.
So 50 million in current
2005
day.
money.
Yeah.
Okay. What's 2005 $50 million?
Who knows?
Like 500 million at this point. Yeah. Okay. So a shit ton of money because they're in a race.
Interestingly,
across
the
America.
manga reverses some of that. Sorry, the anime reverses some of that. Registration fee in the anime was $150.
Yep.
In the manga, $1,200.
Okay.
They've reversed the adjusting for inflation.
Yeah. But the 50 million is still 50 million.
think so,
in
yeah.
the anime, which so for $150, you could win $50 million.
That's right. And the manga also goes into more detail about, there's a second prize of, I don't know if it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
100,000 or something like that. There's there's placing prizes, and then there's also prizes for winning the individual stages too.
Yeah, but Leah, let's be real here. Like, Who's coming second
in
in
the
the
steel
steel
ball
ball run?
run.
Yeah, fucking come on.
And they also talk a bit more about the logistics, like the fact you're not allowed to change your horse,
Yep.
and the fact that using like quarter-mile way stations or whatever, you can cross the continent in 10 days, but that's with frequent changes of horses.
Yep.
Using the same horse the whole way, they project it to take 60 to 80 days.
Because the horses need to rest up.
That's right.
They can't like just keep going.
If their horse is injured, they're disqualified.
One thing I did like is that one of the guys who shows up has a car.
Yeah.
And they immediately go, hey, hang on a second. Isn't it really dumb if we don't have enough fuel? And they're like, that's a really good point.
But I feel like that these first few chapters, it really sets the stage for like the freedom of what we're going to see beyond just being a horse race. Because even now, when it's relatively grounded for Jojo, we've got a guy on foot, we've got a camel, we've got a car.
Yep. But are we ever going to see that camel again?
No.
I thought as much.
But it's letting us know the possibility is there for things to be wild.
There could be, and we didn't see it in this episode, a literal caravan that some guy's like, see my caravan back there? Filled with supplies and extra horses.
What are you buying? No, you're not allowed to swap horses.
No. I'm not using the horses for pushing the caravan. I'm using them as ammunition.
What's interesting, I guess theoretically, once you get out into the wilderness, you could cheat and swap horses somehow, as long as you got your other horse back. But
that's illegal.
Because one of the things they get into in future volumes is, and this is part of the reason they're allowed to have guns.
The horse of Theseus.
No. Once they get out into the wilderness, like it's not nearly as spectated as this initial stage is.
So you could just
So
do some crazy
people are going to
shit.
start trying to kill each other for the $50 million.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's sort of what I thought would happen. Interesting. But I suppose if someone gets murdered, then everyone's like, right,
Well,
it was
I won't
fucking
go
one of
into any
yous.
more details about.
Yeah. God, that's crazy.
Also, I've just got a photo here of it takes place during the next scene, but it's the first drawing of Johnny Joestar in a manga panel. He shows up in the anime briefly watching the press conference, but this is what he first looks like, responding to Gyro's commotion in his first appearance in the manga.
Oh my god! Why doesn't he have a face?
Or a neck.
Or anything.
He's just a little Charlie Brown gremlin in his wheelchair.
And he's got little alarmed lines coming out from him. But
So, okay, what happens? Gyro Zeppeli rolls into town.
yeah, he's on his horse.
Get the score, it's the same composer as the last few parts, and there's definitely some recurring like motifs in the music. But in terms of the actual sound of it, there's like a lot of heavy like piano. Like I'm getting, I don't know a lot about like music theory aside, but I'm getting like Western rag stuff.
Like
And also like some like Ennio Morricone-esque like Western vocals.
Whoa, Western vocals? Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah. You know, like who did the the good, the bad, and the ugly?
Yeah. But I always think of like a cool electric guitar playing that's like do 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 do.
There's a bit of that.
Yeah, and they're like trucking along the hill, horsing along the hill, and they're like.
So Gyro wants to register for the Steel Ball Run.
But how can he? He can't walk.
Gyro.
Good point.
Is this going to be a problem?
Maybe. Look, they both start with J, and that's the same person in my brain.
Gyro wants to register for the Steel Ball Run. He goes to the registration office where there's this recurring clerk character.
Yeah, he's a little guy.
He's probably like...
Very unassuming.
In the parlance of the time, they would call him a Chinaman.
Goddamn, Liam. Goddamn. I thought I knew, man. I thought I knew. Yeah, but he looks pretty, like, small features.
And I think there's two of them that are twins. I don't think we see that explicitly this time, but I'm pretty sure there's two of them that are twins.
Sure. There's one on the West Coast and there's one on the East Coast.
He's handing over his big gold coins of 120 American dollars.
You know what's really funny? I didn't even think this through. It's literally just big gold video game coins.
Yes.
That he just plucks down.
And this motherfucker in a big pink bowler hat that says San Diego to New York on it.
Sorry.
With his official Steel Ball Run merchandise hat.
Sorry, does it say San Diego to New York? Or does it say San Diego, New York, and have a big fucking arrow in the middle?
He's like, hey, what are these things around your waist? I've never seen these before. And he's clutching at the big green steel balls around Gyro's waist.
And Gyro's all like, don't you fucking do it.
Gyro does some crazy shit. Like he sloops his hand past the ball. The ball in its holster starts spinning, and there's like a resonance as like the man's hand is stuck to Gyro's and his legs give out from under him. And we hear the iconic sound of the ripple from parts 1 to 2 and partially 3 of Jojo's.
Which does feel like a weird choice to me as someone who has no idea what the fuck's going on.
It's a stylistic choice. Like, we're not saying the spin is the ripple.
Yeah, but it's like, interesting. Where am I going to recognize
It's like how later in the episode when Diego is spurring his horse to overtake Gyro,
we hear the
sound of the world.
Yeah. It's interesting to me because it's like, you know how, this is probably not going to make sense to anyone except us. You know how in Dark Tide, you get those audio cues for the different enemy types when they show up? And so you know, there's a grenadier.
Yeah, or there's a guy with a flamethrower, because I can hear the gas stove clicking.
Yeah, or like, you know, you'll hear not barking, but like and then you're like, the hounds are coming, right?
Sure.
In this, it's interesting in that we've been trained on previous JoJo's parts to be like, time stop, right? That sort of sound happens. Here, they're just racing horses.
Or if you're a JoJo's World listener, that sound equates to Liam putting in a message during the edit.
Which won't happen here, because of course he's not going to do that. They're a coward. So unnecessary. But here it's like, so you recognize it. You know what that means. But it doesn't mean that. It
doesn't mean the same thing, but it does mean there's crazy high concept anime bullshit.
There's something going on that you could sort of equate to. You know, it's like, he goes faster.
Whatever Gyro's steel balls are doing as well. Like, there's obviously a through line between what they're doing and what the Ripple was doing in, like, its earliest incarnations with manipulating muscles.
Yeah.
Like, we'll get to it in a sec, but, I mean, we may as well talk about it now. The guy pickpockets part of Gyro's entrance fee, so...
He's $20 short.
He's clever with his steel balls, and he figures it out.
Yeah.
And the guy is arrested as a thief, and as he's getting hauled away by the private steel ball run cops that have SBR on their cowboy hats.
Ridiculous.
He snags one of their guns and is going to shoot Gyro.
Yep. But
they put him down. But then Gyro says, "Hey, let him up and give him the gun back. We're going to settle this."
Because he's a badass outlaw? Question mark?
I mean, he's giving
Majima vibes.
He's giving Clint Eastwood.
He's giving like, I'm a bad Yakuza
This is how we settled the law in the Old West.
Yeah.
2 men would shoot each other at the same time, so it was never clear who drew first.
Exactly. Unless you knew, deep down.
And the guy, long story short, the guy's going to try and shoot Gyro when his back is turned. Because he's like, no, I was just joking. You can go.
I'm joking.
Exactly. But as he goes to shoot, Gyro, quick as a whip, hucks that steel ball into his arm muscle, and we see the muscular contort into a Junji Ito-esque spiral.
That's some Junji Ito shit. We've been spotted again.
And he says, well, you're done. Go get yourself checked out by a doctor before lunchtime. Take your finger off that trigger.
And instead of taking his finger off the trigger, he's like, no, I'm just going to shoot you.
He tries to pull the trigger, and because of what Gyro has done to his muscles, the musculature of his arm contorts with that trigger pull, such that his hand whips around and he shoots himself in the head.
He needed to see that doctor before midday.
And a crowd is gathered by this point, and imagine if the ramification was, even if he didn't try to shoot him, unless he got that doctor to work out his muscles, he was just going to shoot himself in the head.
Exactly.
No matter where his gun was.
Oh, no.
A crowd is gathered, including a sheriff and Johnny Joestar by this point.
Yeah, and the sheriff and his deputy? Or someone
it's
else.
just a duel, perfectly legal.
Yeah,
nothing to see here.
Not just, he just shot himself,
Someone clean up this sack of shit.
It's like, but who gets convicted?
It's funny because the guy, before they shoot each other, the guy is like, I'll get you, Gyro Zappelli. I'll enter the race and chase you across the whole continent.
Yeah.
And it's like, are we setting up like a recurring nuisance? Nah, he's dead.
I legit thought, okay, he does look a bit ridiculous. He might have some
He might be a real character.
He might be a side character coded kind of guy. And then no, he just shoots himself in the head.
But no, what I was going to say is like the way Gyro's steel ball manipulates this guy's muscles to make him do that. There's obviously some parallels there between like the earliest uses of the ripple in part 1.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember the zoom punch? Which was basically...
Is that the one that never worked?
No, that's the one that always worked. Zeppeli and Jonathan used it. They would basically... I don't remember the exact bullshit justification, but it was like punching really hard to like dislocate all the joints and muscles in your arm to extend your reach, and then using the ripple to heal your arm and pull it back to normal configuration.
What was the one that never worked?
That was Dyer's Thundercross split attack.
That's right. That he had mastered over like 20
The
years or
attack
something.
that goes super slow and it's really obvious, and that's how it theoretically gets you, but it never works.
It never works.
But no, you see what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
There's deliberate like
There's a
parallels
through
here
line.
between
Yeah.
what the steel balls do and what the ripple does.
Yeah, there's a through line of conceptually something's going on with these spinning balls.
Manipulating the
muscles
of your body.
Yeah, or like the sinews or something of the matter.
The point
that
is,
you're-
it's bodily manipulation.
Yeah.
It's not, the psychic powers manifested as buff dudes we've seen with
Yeah.
Stans.
And yet they're made of metal, and he's hucking them.
Yeah.
That's different. That's new.
And so Johnny, a little wheelchair-bound former star jockey, he, for basically no reason, charges forward in his wheelchair like, hey, I want to see those steel balls.
Yeah, and he just grabs them.
Yeah, he grabs at them and
Because one of them is still spinning.
yeah,
if I
Gyro's
remember
like,
right.
be careful, it's still spinning. And his fingers make incidental contact, and in that moment, his legs kick forward and he stands up for a moment,
Oh my god, that's not what paraplegics do.
giving birth to an obsession that's going to take over his life for the next 2 to 3 months.
So, the basis of OCD is that the obsession is if I touch the balls, I'll walk again. And the compulsion is that now our boy wants to get a hold
We
of those
say
balls.
it's just coincidence that he saw this and he charged for, but Jojo has always been a story about fate and
destiny.
yeah.
So really, what this is Johnny has selected the prodigal balls to touch, such that he is now, shall we
I
say,
don't think you know what that word means.
say like, oh, I don't know, the big JC has T-posed up and is now a beautiful figure.
It's so funny that you're making reference to our Lord Jesus
Why,
Christ.
why do you keep saying this whenever I make fun of... You have unironically been like, Nick, you've tapped into something with Jesus. I'm like, what is going on?
I can't tell you.
Yeah. Confused. All right.
But you know,
There's something
the
there in the
first
Wild
stage
West.
and the last stage both end at a
That
church.
yeah.
There's a through line of religion here that we're just not seeing
Wild
all
West.
the pieces of yet. Sandman was part of the reason Sandman was thrown out by his tribe was because he was reading the white man's Bible.
Yeah. But what does that mean? I don't know. Anyway, point being, he T-poses up, falls back down, and goes, wait, let me touch those balls again.
And Gyro's like, fuck off.
Yeah. So to
So
pursue
we're going
him...
to talk about Gyro because we got to talk about these two boys' designs.
Oh, we got to talk about Gyro again. Okay.
Gyro, let's start from the base. 'cause
the
it's
most
easiest.
stylish outlaw.
He's got big boots,
Big
like
cowboy
waist-high boots,
Yeah.
boots / chaps with spurs on.
They didn't have holes in the shoes because I swear they were like white or something.
There's purple pants underneath his chaps, which go seamlessly into his boots.
Right. Okay, that might be it then. Yeah. So
Is the chaps the interior on the thigh or the exterior on the waist? Doesn't matter.
all I know is arseless chaps.
I think all chaps are inherently arseless.
I'm not.
Anyway,
so, yeah.
yeah, you got that bubble butt.
Let me tell you, I got mangoes down there.
Anyway, and then why don't you tell me about his waistline?
So this belt.
Because Nick won't stop talking about Gyro's belt buckle.
I need to know what the fuck is going on with this belt. It's like flat on top and then right angles, so it makes sort of like a rectangle, and then a triangular pointing
like
down.
the bottom half is like a trapezoid.
Yeah, and then it points to his crotch, and it's got
Two pointing hands. As if they were doing finger guns.
Yeah, and it's really fucking big. Like, massive
And they're pointing-
metal buckle pointing right at his crotch. And then it's just this massive belt that goes around. Big leather belt.
So prominent in every shot of him.
And it's always there, always pointing down there. Even when he's on the horse, it's there.
All I will say is you will eventually get some information about this belt buckle.
What the fuck? So this isn't just Araki being like, oh, this will work.
Well, I mean,
also
that will ultimately be up to you to judge. Then he's wearing a big duster, or not a duster, he's wearing like a purple muscle shirt.
Yep.
He's got
Big green scarf.
green scarf
kind of thing.
over his back.
Yep.
His golden grills that say "Go Go Zeppeli."
Yep. And
He's
they
got a little
don't line up symmetrically.
Shitty under chin beard.
This is a weird thing. On the side of his
It's like
jawline.
square patches.
Of hair?
Yeah, and then he's got lank blonde hair and a big broad brimmed hat.
Yeah.
Like the very same trash bin that Vash the Stampede once wore.
that was actually a trash bin lid. I'll have you know,
That's what I
he's a
meant to
man
say.
of
You know what I mean.
class. He's a man
You know what
of
I mean.
class. He would never wear a trash
Then on the other
bin.
hand, we got Johnny Joestar,
So Johnny,
currently in a wheelchair.
he's currently in a wooden wheelchair. He has, I'm going to go top down with him because his hat confused me. It's like a snow hat that you would, like, it's got big floppy
hat.
earpieces.
He's got a bandana tied around his head, essentially.
No, it's not a bandana. It's like a floppy woolen, like, Lane from that show, Serial Experiments Lane.
Haven't seen it.
It's got like a floppy winter hat that covers your ears, but it's got stars all on it. It's white with blue stars. On the front, I think there's like a horseshoe and a horse's face.
That's right.
But what got me about this is that on the sides, like where you would normally imagine like the devil horns would be, there are two little bits
Where you
of
would
hair.
normally imagine the devil horns.
You
would
know,
be.
in every
like
depiction,
on the devil.
Yeah, on the demon
Yeah, there's
boy.
two tufts of Johnny's hair
Yeah, just two
sticking through
little-
like little horns.
Yeah, and they're just like, bonk, just little,
Just because we're talking about
little
Johnny.
pincers.
Oh, and his colour scheme is, of course, American flag themed.
Wait, where's the red?
On his body,
Body.
his shirt, and his sleeves.
Ah, right you are.
Just on Johnny and being being a hero with disability. I've got a comment from Araki from an interview with Anime News Network in 2017.
I'm sure this is going to be very tasteful.
It's fine.
Oh, okay.
They ask him, Steel Ball Run took an interesting approach to battle manga by focusing on a positive portrayal of a hero with a disability. What inspired you to create Johnny Joestar? And he says, my work centers around protagonists who grow as they overcome hardship. In creating Johnny, I didn't necessarily set out to depict a hero with a disability. He was the end result of my pursuit to create a character who could grow, both physically and mentally, during a race where he would be forced not only to rely on other people, but horses as well. He was so close to saying something
So much
profound.
better than I could have imagined.
But he'll also rely on horses.
So So he never set out. Okay, so let's just put this in
I
perspective.
think that's what the crux of what he's saying there is like, I wasn't setting out to create like an iconic representation of a disabled hero with
he
disability.
wasn't going like, this is the Spider... If Spider-Man is to like a teenage normal New Yorker, you know, like kid, this is what like representation is, you know? He wasn't going for that.
He's not saying my goal is to create like the iconic
Wheelchair-bound hero
no.
that's like, he overcame it, you know? He's just like, he's a guy. Horses, too, also. He's
got to
got
learn
some
to
horses.
rely on people.
He's
He's got to overcome the rugged spirit of American individualism and also rely on horses.
Horses are like communism.
A horse is beautiful, and the bond between a man and a horse cannot be overcome by anything else, not even his wife.
When it's in motion, it's a beautiful thing.
And what if there were a beautiful horse, a rude horse who no one else could tame, but I could?
I think we both laughed when we were
That
like,
happens, and that's the iconic horse
I
girl
know,
story, and
but-
that happens in this episode.
yeah, I know, but we both were like, he's a horse trainer. He could totally train that horse. And then later, literally,
But what girl could train him?
So, God, I can't get past this. Araki's point is that he's not out to create an iconic portrayal of a wheelchair-bound hero.
Yeah.
He's out there
Creating a guy with some shit to overcome.
Yeah, a guy who can overcome obstacles with the friends around him that he made along the way, horses.
That's right.
Great. That's it. There's no more that needs to be said. Horses.
Horses.
Ladies and gentlemen, horses.
Some stuff happens that we can kind of skim over, even though it's hilarious, where Johnny pursues Gyro down the street, repeatedly abusing one guy with like a puffy eye.
So he literally is like, wait, give me those balls again. Pushes a guy who's reading
Grabs
the
him by
newspaper.
the throat and pushes him aside.
In true Jojo's fashion.
Yep.
And then the guy's all like, hey, go fuck yourself. And Johnny is basically like, no, fuck you. He tries to grab the ball, but
I'm
Gyro's
skimming through
like,
my photo notes because I want the exact line here.
I think Gyro's just like, dude, no. Dude, no, don't come closer.
Yeah, so Gyro's back on his horse and he's just slowly clopping away. Johnny speeds down the street after him, pushes this one guy with a missing eye or one closed eye, regardless, out of the way. Gets in front of Gyro and says, hey, what did you just do to me? what just happened? Do you know the call? And Gyro looks down at him, and he's high up on his horse, but his face
Literally
is
and
shadowed by his
figuratively,
hat,
yep,
but he's got
yep.
an expression of disinterest and contempt on his face.
Yep.
Do you know the top cause of death? Diseases spread by mosquitoes are number one.
But number two,
Then getting kicked by a horse. Are you trying to switch those rankings?
fucking
Don't get your
badass.
hopes up. You standing up was just a coincidence. It's just a physical reflex. It won't make you walk again.
Ooh.
But Johnny won't be deterred, and he says, I'll pay you. And Gyro rides away. I'm done talking.
And he is going to chase after him, but cunningly, the man that he pushed aside and ran over in his wheelchair.
He hasn't run him over yet.
Oh, sorry.
He's just pushed him aside. The guy comes back and he puts his hand roughly on Johnny's shoulder and says, hey, you had a lot of nerve to push me like that.
Johnny then throws him over his
does
shoulder.
like a textbook judo throw from a seated position to this guy, smashes him down onto the ground in front of him,
Classic brown
then
belt.
speeds his wheelchair along and does a leap off this guy using him as a ramp.
It's just like so unnecessary.
I mean, it's really establishing Johnny's bona fides as a physical combatant despite his condition.
He will fuck you up.
He launches himself through the air, reaches towards the steel balls hanging from Gyro's waist. Gyro once again dusts his hand along the steel ball and along Johnny's hand, twists the muscles in Johnny's hand and redirects them to a nearby, like, overhanging
like a balcony kind
balcony
of thing.
or a building support.
Yeah, like a little veranda roof.
Johnny is stuck clinging to it, holding himself up with one hand, and he says, you've got some well-trained muscles in your upper body.
Wonder how.
Now, let me make this clear. The steel spin won't make someone who can't walk start walking again. And Johnny refuses to believe it.
He's like, I just stood up.
He's like, I swear I'll uncover the truth behind that spin. And that's basically all he says for the rest of the episode over and over again, other than commenting on horse riding techniques.
The obsession is the balls, the compulsion is the steel ball run. We're just going to say that about Johnny for the rest of this episode.
It takes steel balls to win a horse race.
It takes a horse with steel balls.
And then we cut to, then Johnny falls down onto the floor, and the same guy let's be frank, Johnny has repeatedly abused for no reason.
100%.
Comes back and starts kicking the crap out of him. Okay, at this point we've been going for a while, and we still had so much to cover, so we took a quick 5-minute break. So I'm going to break us there, and we'll see you next week for the second half of our Steel Ball Run discussion. To be continued.